Under Donald Trump, the American government is detaining people and denying them due process, and the cases are starting to dribble out into the news, and it is absolutely terrifying.
First, we have a postdoctoral candidate that's also a professor at Georgetown who has been taken, like forcefully taken by hooded ICE agents, snatched him, and his wife is Palestinian. And so they linked him to being a supporter of Hamas. And now they are trying to deport him. They've already whisked him to Louisiana. Now, mind you, there is absolutely zero evidence that he is a criminal or committed a crime. He is here legally in the United States, married to a U.S. citizen, and they are trying to deport him without due process, even after judges have said not to.
So I think what they're going to do is, they're going to start with brown-skinned people, and they're going to start testing the water, and it's going to get worse and worse. And I think the next one you have where they start doing this to Caucasians, and I hate that this is an issue, but it's in Trump's America, it's even more of an issue. And, MAGA people, sadly, the guy you just talked about, they're not going to care about. No. Because Trump has dehumanized people that are not Caucasian. And now they're starting the dehumanization of Caucasians, like with Canadians and Europeans. That's starting. And so the propaganda that they've been using all of this time since 2016, and a lot of the rhetoric in the campaign has primed his base for this moment, and they like it.
They do like it. Here's something that they're not going to care about is a Venezuelan who protested the government there in the United States legally, was deported to El Salvador. He's a professional soccer player. He was given legal asylum. He has no criminal record, and he has been deported.
So let's explain to our viewer what this is. These are the planes that were sent up in the air that a judge said, turn them around, this is illegal. And Trump and his sycophants and acolytes get on the air and saying, these people are criminals. How do we know who they are? And that's exactly what the judge was saying. How do we know?
Right.
This guy is not a criminal. He's a soccer player. They are rounding up people, otherizing them. And this is the stuff of Nazi Germany. But we shouldn't be surprised about this because Elon Musk does Sig Heils. All of Trump's evangelical supporters, and I'm talking about white evangelical supporters, are unbelievably racist. And so this is a really, really terrifying moment. And the thing about democracy dying is, you think it's going to be this big loud boom and we're going to hear it. And we're also programmed for the climax of something, but it's happening right now. Every single time they do not honor the judiciary, our democracy is eroding. And so all of these MAGA people that claim, well, we love our freedom. We love that flag. We love Trump because he loves America. None of this is the stuff that you claim to love. But I don't know that these people want democracy. A lot of them seem to like authoritarian figures. Some psychologists did a whole research on the Trump supporters. And the one thing they all had in common is they gravitated towards authoritarian personalities. They like this. They like it. And I don't know how to fix that. I don't know how to fix a percentage of the population that doesn't want people to be free and wants to judge people, wants to otherize people, and wants to be recreationally cruel to them because you get your rocks off on it.
It's really sad. Now we have a white female, a Canadian, who says, I'm the Canadian who was detained by ICE for 2 weeks. It felt like I had been kidnapped. This story is going to be one of many as now we're waging war against Canadians. But the difference that you make, which is a very strong point, is the MAGA base likes it when it's black and brown people. Let's see how they like it when it's white people.
And here's the thing, that will probably never make it to Fox. And that's never going to make it on any sort of white right-wing algorithm. And so this is the job of the resistance and the rebellion to get this information out. What they're doing, detaining a Canadian for 2 weeks, I don't care what the gender, what the color is, because I'm a progressive person. But this administration and the people that voted for it 3 times, this is evil. I mean, this is truly evil shit. And I think that we need to start thinking about other ways, like Pam Bondi going along with this stuff. Is that not a bar complaint?
Yeah, I mean, it would be.
Talking about a judge and not wanting to honor their orders. The judge that wanted to turn around the flights and said, you can't do this. And she's on there bad mouthing judges. I mean, I think these are bar complaints. I think we have to attack every which way we can. My number one favorite thing to do right now is to tank Tesla as much as we possibly can so that he loses Twitter. And I think that would be a really strong message to send. And then we can move on to another oligarch.
Right. Well, there's a list a mile long. Okay. The next person that was detained and sent back was a French researcher. He was detained on arrival in the U.S., his computer and phone confiscated and searched, and his text criticizing Trump's cuts to scientific research were deemed by DHS agents as hatred of Trump that could be described as terrorism, and he was deported. This is bone chilling because that is saying we don't have free speech in the United States.
It says we don't have free speech, and it also says that we have the biggest thin-skinned titty baby on the planet. I mean, seriously, like if you are thin-skinned, don't run for public office. It just amazes me how thin-skinned he is and all the people that he's surrounded with, like Elon Musk. You could have just been a billionaire and done Tesla and floated around on your boat and, jacked off with your rockets, talked about Mars and had a bunch of meetings and done a bunch of shit. You chose to put yourself in this position. You put on your dark MAGA hat. You pranced your fat ass out on that stage and started doing herkies. You did that. You did it. And once you're in that place and you're this big believer in free speech hurts. Mm-hmm. We get ripped on the internet all the time. Guess what we don't do? Get up here and sit down and boodle baby cry because we're not titty babies, because we choose to sit down here. But these men, these MAGA men, that they can't be criticized, and then they want to make any speech that is critical of them or their fucked up leader cause for deportation or potentially terrorism is asinine. It is completely insane, and it pisses me off that the attack on these people is not bigger. It pisses me off that Tesla hasn't already fallen. It pisses me off that Donald Trump's approval rating isn't 15%. We have to work harder at being better haters.
I agree, and we have to spread the message. And then the final one I want to leave you with is a U.S. citizen. A U.S.-born citizen was walking near Chicago in January. I snatched him off the street, handcuffed him, threw him into his van. His wallet, which held his ID, was confiscated. He was detained for 10 hours before being released without a record of what occurred. So this is all on the down low. I'm going to assume, I don't know that, I'm going to assume he was brown or black.
Yeah, his last name was Noriega. I can't remember what the first name was, but I read that article. But this is where a normal opposition party would be talking about impeachment.
Absolutely.
This is where you would be talking about impeachment. But we play this rule where they were trying to impeach Joe Biden for who the fuck knows. I can't even remember. It was so nonsensical. He is committing crime after crime after crime, quid pro quos, detaining people. I mean, Pam Bondi should be impeached. And you haven't even heard that uttered. Instead, you have Chuck Schumer out there voting with these fuckers. And that's what pisses me off. We're playing two separate games here. They play a one-sided game. And I can guarantee you this is the game they play. If Clarence Thomas drops dead or he resigns, guess who's going to be the justice? It will be that woman down in Florida, Aileen Cannon, because she fucking bent over. She dismissed his cases. She did the work for him because that's the game they play. They are corrupt to their core, and she will come cash in on all of those favors that she did, and she will be a SCOTUS. She will be a Supreme Court justice. That will happen because that's the game they play. But we have 10 senators voting with these people. I mean, this is just, the word impeachment should be massive.
All day, every day, in every department. Pam Bondi, start with her. Go on down the list. Elon Musk should have already been in the Senate 50 times over.
Elon Musk should be in handcuffs.
Absolutely. Breaking into buildings, breaking into private
Stealing
information.
people's information, stopping investigations into him. I mean, this is the list of crimes and criminality with this it boggles the mind. It absolutely boggles the mind. And I just think that this is a moment where we have got to replace every single Democrat. If you don't want to fight, sit down, go resign, go on a book tour, go do the shit you want to do, but move away.
You are not equal to the moment.
Agree. All right. Subscribe to our channel. We're trying to get to 1 million subs, and we'll see you all later.